Here we go. We're recording. I guess we're just waiting on David now, it looks like.
Yes, and you have controls to mute out the lines too,
Yep,
Francis.
I do.
Okay.
So a big day there yesterday, guys. Wow. 1,000 people come through the calls. That's pretty wild. That is a super shatter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was. Great job. Great job. I just talked to David. He's getting on now.
Okay, great.
We had some fun on that last call, that's for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was about 2 quarts up.
Hey, can you guys hear and see me?
Can we what?
You guys hear and see me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see you there, David. You bet. How are you doing?
All right.
Hey, David.
Hey, for some reason I can't see anybody else does. All right, so I got a video on. I got my mic on. All right, cool.
Awesome. Hey guys, thanks for
How
jumping
many
on
of us
today.
are on here?
Yeah, we just wanted to get together with a few of our top, excuse me, a few of our top leaders here. David, just some questions that were going around that we thought maybe you could help us with. And Kenny, is your guy on that had the questions? There's just some big builders that are wanting to jump in, and they've done a little bit of their own due diligence, I guess you will, research on the internet, and some of them are having issues with the legality and things like that. So I'll let you just speak to that for a few minutes. And if there's anybody that has particular questions, it was some of the people in our group had some specific questions they wanted to ask. So everybody's mic is open if you want to jump in after David gives his overview.
All right, cool. So if I and can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right, so if I'm to understand correctly, the question that that some of the top leaders that are on with us right now are trying to understand is the legality of what we're doing. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. Well, first of all, we do crowdfunding, and as everybody should know, crowdfunding is 100% legal on all 7 continents and every country in the world. So what we're doing is 100% legal everywhere, no matter where you're doing it. Secondly, the way we are doing it is also 100% legal in every country in the world. We've been doing it for 16 years, so it's not like we're just getting started doing this right now. We've been doing it for 16 years. We've been doing it very, very well for 16 years. We're in over 150 countries. So far, we've helped over 670, actually closing in on 680,000 people right now. And 50/50 is new, but the process that we're using is the same as what we did before. We just did some enhancements to it, revamped it a little bit. And for those of you that have any concerns as to the legality of what we're doing, you can do what thousands of other people have already done, and that is 2 things. You can, search the internet and find out whether or not crowdfunding is legal or not, and you'll find that it is. And the second thing that you can do is you can ask your lawyers. Everyone has lawyers, and
on the internet.
And so far we've had, just in this short period of time, we've had dozens of people who have inquired with their independent legal, they've got their own independent legal advice, and every lawyer that they've spoken to has all said that what we're doing is 100% legal. Go forth and multiply.
Makes sense to me, and I mean, I'm totally on board with that, David. Is there anyone on the call that had specific questions for David about that?
I do, if that's all right. I don't know if, can you guys hear me right now?
Absolutely.
I can hear you.
All right. As far as the actual campaign, more or less, I mean, I know in the back office we're able to create one, and I've done that, but there's not really any viewing of the campaign. And I was always led to the impression like, you know, that kind of had to be there in order to kind of legitimize everything, that we're actually crowdfunding for a purpose.
Well, first of all, you can crowdfund for anything. So if your purpose is because you want a case of beer, you can crowdfund for that. If your purpose is because you want to help your church, you can crowdfund for that. If your purpose is because, you know, you want to pay off your bills, you can crowdfund for that. If your purpose is because you want to run for public office, you can crowdfund for that. So whatever your purpose is, you can crowdfund for it. And if you look at all of the thousands of crowdfunding sites that are out there, including Google, Facebook, PayPal, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, you know, they don't all say what their tens of millions of people are raising funds for, but we do have that in the back office. And over the course of the next, say, 30 days, we will give you another new tool to allow you to display your campaign more publicly, if you like.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
Is there going to be any way to see that? I know I've set up a campaign myself, David, and it says to view others' campaigns, you have to put in their donor ID number. Is there ever going to be a platform where we can just view everyone that set up their own campaign specifically?
Probably not, because of privacy reasons. And if that says to view other campaigns, I think that link is probably incorrect. I think that link should say to donate to other campaigns. So if you wanted to donate a specific amount, $1 or $100 million to another campaign, you'd be able to do so.
Okay. I got it.
David, one of the questions that I get, and yeah, I know you answered it on one of our calls, is that, you know, the other company that you have going, people are still receiving today. That company name, could you go through it? You did tell me that it started in 2002. You actually shut it down for about 6 weeks, I think, in 2005, just to while they were looking at some things, and you stated that, you know, from 2005 on, you haven't had any issues. But could you just cover that so I'm not regurgitating what you've said?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, David.
Okay.
David, can I ask you a quick question before you switch subjects?
Hang on. One question at a time, please. Let me answer that question for you. So yes, the company is still going on, and we were brand new. We're probably the father of crowdfunding in its current format, because we were a peer-to-peer exchange activity when we first came out, because there was no such thing as crowdfunding at that time. I think someone just renamed what we were doing. But yeah, when we first came out in 2002, within the first 6 weeks, within the first 3 months, we had 44,000 people in over 50 countries. The government, I don't even know which government it was. It was probably the U.S. government. The government shut us down. They closed our websites. They confiscated our websites. And then after a period of time, all of a sudden and we challenged, we were trying to find out who shut us down, why we were shut down, and we were trying to, you know, pose a legal challenge as to why we were shut down. And all of a sudden everything just came back on, and we haven't been bothered again since. And that was after the first 6 weeks. But we've been going for the last 16 and a half years uninterrupted, providing services to people around the world.
No sound fine.
Awesome. Hey, John, did you have a question?
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just, before we got off the legality, before we switched subjects, I just had one more question on that. I understand this is not MLM or that arena, but obviously you're very familiar with that arena, David. Do you have any attorneys on retainer, or any the typical MLM name dropping we can use out there to say, hey, so-and-so, big names David has on retainer that's looked through this and said it's good as gold?
Well, yes, I'm very familiar with MLM. I think it's the greatest industry in the world, next to crowdfunding. I've been doing it since 1987. And for my previous businesses, I needed to have MLM attorneys, and I've got MLM attorneys in basically on all continents. What we're doing right now is not MLM, and I don't need to get any legal opinion from any MLM lawyers for what we're doing. So the answer to that is we don't have any, because we don't need any as far as the MLM goes. When when I start another MLM, then I'll get my MLM attorneys to vet everything. But I have had lawyers on all continents vet what we're doing. But this is not MLM.
Right, but what I'm saying is, as you said, for us to check with our attorneys about 50-50, I'm just saying, rather than us go spend the $5 or $10 grand, do you have that? Do you have that from one of your attorneys on 50-50, and we can just use that testimonial instead of paying for our own?
No, I wouldn't provide that to you, because then people would just use that for other purposes. So it's not something I would provide. The second part of that is that an attorney, it's not going to cost you $5 or $10 grand. An attorney should be able to give you an answer as to the legality of what we're doing in about 15 minutes. So it's not going to cost you very much money.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right. Anybody else have any questions for David while we're here?
Hey, David, this is John. Obviously the legality, we all know it's legal, but that's the first question that everybody always asks us. And as it gets deeper into the field, people don't quite know how to explain that. Is there any possibility moving forward that, you could maybe cut a 5, 6, 7-minute video just explaining why it is legal, so when that question comes up, we can just fire that off to people and help dispel that, and everybody had access to that deep into the field? I think it would be really helpful.
Well, I'll see what I can do, but I'm not gonna put a 7-minute video together on why we're legal. GoFundMe doesn't have a 7-minute video on why they're legal. Facebook doesn't have a 7-minute video on why their crowdfunding platform is legal, and neither do we. Here's my face. I'm right here, right? People know where I live. People know who I am. I've been doing this for a long period of time. If I was doing something illegal, I would be hiding behind a screen and people wouldn't know who I was. So, me being out there and me doing this for 15 years and me volunteering my time and effort to communicate with people whenever they ask should be enough for them. The only people that seem to be asking, whether or not it's legal, there's two types of people that are asking about the legality. One are, network marketers, because they perceive what we're doing to be MLM, which we're not. So they look at things a little differently. And then the second type of people that are asking at whether or not we're legal are people that want to get you into something else. And then there's actually the third type, and that's the people that just ask, is this legal? Is this a Ponzi? Is this a pyramid? Just so that they can get you off the phone. But we are 100% legal in every country, every jurisdiction, every household in the world.
Hey, David, it's Kenny. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, let me ask you something here. As far as, a lot of people are saying, hey, you got to keep building every day. Otherwise, you're not going to make any money, whatever. And then John talks about, build wide and build deep. Can you go into that there as far as what goes on after about 60 days, 90 days into the process?
Well, every process is different for everybody, right? We have some people that are on the line with us right now that are already into 5 digits. And they're into 5 digits because they're working harder than other people. But this is no different than any other service that you're offering, right? If you're Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola stops selling Coke, they're going to stop making money, right? So this is one of the most brilliant systems that you'll ever see put together because of that Mobius loop. So it can keep you cycling forever. But your team has to keep, if everyone's a team player, this thing will never slow down. And the more people that you help is the more people that you're going to help yourself, is the more that you're going to help yourself, right? So this system, because of all of the dynamics to it, I can't say, do this and you're going to make $50,000 or you're going to make $50,000 a month, because there's too many dynamics to it. But all I can tell you is that, this is something that people need, whether you're in Texas, Toronto, Timbuktu, Tokyo, or Tijuana. This is something that people need. And if you share it with the people that need it, they're going to use it, and it's going to create benefits for everybody.
Okay.
All right, I just had a quick.
That was like one of those. Okay, I didn't get what you said, David, but we'll move on.
Hey, this is Ryan one more time. I just had a quick question on the whole programming side when people are not donating. Is there a way to have it to where, for instance, they have 48 hours to send their donation, and if they don't, then their payment page, when people are signing up under them, defaults to their actual sponsor? The problem that we're having when people find out that, hey, if once you're in the system and you're kind of rocking, when you're due for a donation, if you don't pay, you're still going to make donations on your, and there's not really anything we can do about it. And I understand when they're stuck in the matrix, it's stuck. You can't move.
Hold on. You're asking 24 questions there. So let's deal with the first couple of questions that you asked. So first of all, when a person gives a donation, when they register on the site, it says donate immediately. Immediately. It doesn't say donate in 5 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours, or 48 hours, or 72 hours. It says make your donation immediately. And if you don't make your donation immediately, you're facing suspension at any time after you register. So people have been suspended, and when they get suspended, then they cannot receive. When they send their donations, the system automatically unsuspends them. So that happens automatically. Now then, we don't have to have an automated process in there, because over 95% of the people are sending their donations right now, and that's including the hundreds and hundreds of people that joined yesterday, right? So if we deduct the hundreds of people that joined yesterday, then we're probably at about a 97 or a 98% donation receive rate. So we don't have to have an automated process in there, but I can tell you that people have been suspended very, very quickly. It doesn't take days. They will get suspended. Now, when a person gets suspended, it doesn't go to the person above them, because the person that enrolled them, because if it went to the person that enrolled them or the person that above them, then everyone would, try and get themselves out of a jam by enrolling people that they didn't want. So the system looks upline, and some of you have seen a follow-up donation, and that'll go anywhere from 1 to 5 generations above. The system randomly chooses who that donation is going to go to within the hierarchy.
Oh, okay. And then what is the asterisk? Because I did try to have one person. I only have one bad egg, and I tried to get him removed. And now he's still there, still taking up the matrix spot, but he has an asterisk by him, and he's bold. Does that mean suspended? And is that that person's being suspended. And you see, it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen from time to time where a person won't give their donation, right? So in this particular wheelhouse, on that particular wheelhouse, you will receive 5 donations instead of 6 donations. Don't let it stress you, because we're going to be doing this for years and decades to come. So don't let it stress you, the fact that one person didn't do wasn't honorable and didn't do what they said they were going to do. They can't receive, and when they go into your closed matrix, they're in your closed matrix. They're forgotten, right? So don't let it stress you. Don't let it distract you, and don't let it spoil your dreams. Because remember that there are people that are bad people out there, and they try to game the system. They can't game this system, but people try. They think they get in. They say, oh, well, this looks cool. Let's see if we can do this and we can do that, and and benefit and not contribute. The system won't allow that to happen. So, like I say, just don't. If that happens, don't let it stress you out, because you're going to be doing this for a long period of time. Your friends are going to be doing it with you for a long period of time. Your family's going to be doing it for a long period of time. So, just like be like a duck and let it just slide off your back.
Hey, David, this is John, and I can just comment on that as well. It doesn't always mean that you won't receive a donation from that dead spot, because what happens is, if the person above them puts some people in who land beneath that dead spot, which would normally be outside of your 2x2 matrix.
No, John, you're going down. No, that's not correct, John.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, no. Now, if there's a dead spot, like some people think, oh my gosh, this person's holding me back. no one can hold you back from you doing your system. So just because somebody else decided not to do what they said that they were going to do, again, don't let it distract you, because they can't slow you down. They can't prevent you from cycling, and they can't prevent you from receiving. So just, you know, ignore that particular individual, which is, you know, the best advice that I can give to you, because they can't hurt you. It's just one donation that you're not going to receive out of thousands of donations.
Hey, David, on that same subject, just a quick question. Is it possible that if that becomes a bigger problem as we get bigger, even though it's very minute right now, that before people go into the wheel, if they were marked paid before they went into the wheel, then all those people that sign up and they've got $250, but they decide to click all 3 packages and say, oops, I didn't know what I was doing, to take up all those spots in your bigger wheels. Is there a way where we could just have it, they have to be marked paid in X amount of time before they enter the wheel? Would that solve the problem?
No, it's impossible to do that. It's you know, if this was a slow moving thing, then yeah, we could. But this is very fluid, and things happen extremely fast. And because of the fact that things happen extremely fast, if we were waiting for people to put, you know, to send their donations before they're put in the matrix, no one would be moving, no one would be cycling, and wheelhouses wouldn't be getting filled up. So it just happens too fast in 50-50 to worry about that. Now again, there was a time in which I can turn it on where it's automated, where, you know, if a person doesn't send their donation in 5 minutes or 5 hours or 5 days, that they get suspended. But the problem isn't that big that we need to worry about it, because when people get into 50-50, they see how beneficial it is to everybody. No one wants to get kicked out, and even a lot of the people, almost all of the people that got suspended, have come back in and got an honor of 50-50, so that they can continue along. So people don't want to get suspended. So at this point, we don't have to have an automated, you know, we don't have to have that automated turn-on system. And like I said, we've been doing this for 16 years, and in 16 years, we turned it on for about, I don't know, 15 days, and then we realized we didn't need to have it on anymore, so we just turned it back off. We haven't turned it on again since.
Okay.
And hey, David, can you talk to the program, the 50-50 Fast Start program, the 150? I've had several people call me saying that they think we've been scammed and copied because there's another program out there, but we know it's a legitimate one, so some don't know about it.
Yeah, and 50-50 Fast, and by the way, people can't copy the program. People can copy the website, but they can't copy the program. So 50-50 Fast is a $150 wheelhouse. And that $150 wheelhouse is for some people to be able to get in at a lower level and then progress up into the 250 and wherever they want to go. I didn't want to make it a part of the 50-50 CF, because then a person would also have to automatically come into the 150. So this is basically like, it's like, you know, you're getting started program for people that, you know, aren't feeling, you know, they just don't have the wherewithal to get started right now. So this is set up for the people that have more limitations right now, so that they can get started. Now, there are some really beautiful things about that, is that if you invite somebody and they register on the 50-50 Fast, which is $150 wheelhouse, when they move up into the 250, they will follow you, because both systems talk to one another. You can even go from 250 down to the 150 if you want. It's totally up to you. So both systems talk to one another. They're all part of the same database and the same genealogy. And just like people follow you in 50-50 CF, anybody who joins in 50-50 Fast, that's part of your team, they will follow you up into 50-50 CF.
Great, thanks. So if someone wanted to join that, they would have to pay the $29 again to register and join the 150, and then would it show up in this back office, or would there be a separate back office for that?
It's a separate back office. And to be clear, as you remember, we had a link in the back office of 50-50 CF for the 250, for the 150, but people were getting a little confused by it, so we took it out. So if you're already in 50-50 CF and you want to also take a position in 50-50 fast, you don't have to re-register. You just go to 5050fast.com, log in using your same email address and your same password that you use for 50-50 CF. Upon logging in, it'll tell you to pay the $29 and to whom you need to send your donation. So you don't need to re-register. You just go to 50-50 Fast and log in as a member.
Gotcha. Great. All right. Does anybody else have any questions out there? A lot of you are muted, but if you have a question, feel free to.
One more, David. Francis, Kenny, and I were on with you earlier today. Could you just address the customer support and where it's coming, right now, so they everybody understands what's going to happen?
Yeah. Okay. So right now, customer support is weak. Customer support is being answered, but they're slow because I've got to train them. I've got to bring them up to speed. And not only do I have to bring them up to speed, I also have to give them the tools so that they can take care of some of the problems. They can take care of about 50% of the customer support questions, but there's 50% of the support questions that they can't take care of. So I need to provide them with the tools, and I should be able to provide them with that next week, and then customer support will be much more fluid.
Great. And you guys, as leaders, we all need to make sure that we're telling our personal enrollees to be real careful when they're signing new people up. It's not easy to make a mistake. As David told us earlier, they have to check a few boxes, to verify
3 times
they're making, right? I know. So they're verifying that they want to do something 3 or 4 times when it's really not what they want to do. So please train the people that you're bringing on board and make sure they're all getting to meetings, to webinars. And my training is out there, which isn't 100% complete as far as everything they need to know, but it's a good start. So if you need the link to that, we've got it. It's 50-50 Zoom training, I believe, zoomtraining.com. But it's just real simple. I mean, the process is really simple, I think. And to make a mistake, you really have to be kind of, not paying attention. So a lot of these issues can be handled at the start.
Big John, are you still on?
Here. Yeah, Bill.
Okay. And David, I know you told John earlier when we, John's here to help, and we all want to help make this better. And I know you're open to suggestions. John had put a couple things together that you agreed that would kind of help enhance the program. I don't know if you've been able to get your programmers to look at some of that stuff that we sent in the emails about a week or 2 ago. David?
Oh, could you remind me what they are, please? And I'll address them right now, and I'll tell you where we are with them.
Go ahead, John.
Bill, I don't have that stuff in front of me right now. I'm mobile as well.
Okay.
Well, some of them are just simple things like putting a call to action button on the Visa MasterCard logo that says click here, so we don't have to babysit people on the phone for 10 minutes to say go click on the logo. Just simple stuff like that.
Do me a favor, if you don't mind, send that to me again, because it probably got buried. And there's a few things, like there's spelling mistakes on the site and stuff like that. So there's a few things that we haven't addressed yet. And one of the reasons why we haven't addressed it yet is, one, we're getting ready to, we're redoing the site. So I haven't had my guys put much attention to the current site, but we're redoing the site, and we're redoing the video. So that's why some of those things haven't been addressed. But that which you're talking about right now is a good idea. So if you resend those suggestions, I'll make sure they're on the new site.
I have them, David, so I will. John, I got your email, so I will go ahead and send them up. And just so you know, David,
Awesome.
John's got another platform that, I don't know, John, you said he's got like 350,000 people in it, and you're waiting to unleash that into 50-50. So John's here to help and support. He wants this program to grow and blossom. So, we're all here as a team. So I just want to let you know that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Yeah, so send that to me again. And if there's stuff that we need to address right away to help John get moving, then maybe I'll get my guys to take a look at those sooner rather than later.
Awesome. Okay, guys, anything else? And just please make sure you're communicating with your downlines. I know I'm getting a lot of calls. I'm sure David is too, but I'm getting a lot of pretty easy questions that I'm having to address every day from people that I don't even know who they are. I don't mind helping anybody at any time, but it's real time consuming when I'm, you know, fixing other problems from other downlines that could easily be handled by their sponsor. So please make sure everybody's getting trained properly when they're coming on.
And I will throw out there one last thing, Francis. David did say he was going to put back in. I know several people are asking for the donation sent. It was there originally. David's going to put that back in somewhere, but it may not be on the homepage.
Let me just say a couple other things. Let me say a couple other things as well, because the system is really simple, right? So people can't. It's difficult when people say that they made mistakes. I don't really buy that because you have to go through 3 steps to register, and if you want to upgrade, again, it's 3 steps. So I don't buy that. I think it's just people not really. They're trying to take advantage of the system. And they're hoping that they can get away from stuff. So it's up to us as leaders to make sure that everybody understands that if you do something, if you claim it's a mistake, you will still get suspended if you don't honor the mistake that you did. So people need to understand that they always have to be 100% in honor of the activity of 50-50 crowdfunding, or they can lose their position. So it's up to us to make sure that we're diligent in making sure that our teammates understand. The other thing that we need to do is that these are great questions. These are the type of questions that we should put on the website, on the FAQs and the knowledge base. So we should be writing the questions down and then writing the answers down and then adding them to the knowledge base to really help people to understand, you know, how the system works, what their obligations are, what they should do and what they shouldn't do. So that's something that we need to do. And again, the people that you're inviting into 50-50, this is not like most other businesses where you are in it for a short period of time and you're gone. The people that you invite into this business, think about it as you're getting married, because this is a relationship that you're going to have for a long time. And most of the people that are in 50-50 that you've invited, they may turn out to be longer than most of your outside, your regular relationships. So you got to treat them that way. You got to stay in communication with people. You got to keep in contact with people. You got to let them know when there's something new going on or when something good happens. You got to be there to ask their questions, help them with their team, and so on and so forth. Because remember, this system is 100% of the donations go back out to the team. That means that 100% of the, for lack of a better word, policing of the system is our responsibility. So we've got to make sure that people are sending their donations and receiving their donations. We've got to make sure that people understand how the system works. And it's up to us to make sure that, you know, to keep everybody informed. So from me to my people, you know, I tell them these are the things we need to do and be diligent. My people to their people, they do the exact same thing. So as long as we keep that communication level going and make sure that we're not just slamming people in there and hoping that some people do and some people don't, everything's going to be beautiful. And lastly, for the leaders that haven't heard this before, never give people away. If you give people away, it's going to be very, very bad for you, because what you're doing is, if this is your primary team and then you put a dud in here, it means that the people you're giving away are over here. They're never going to be communicating with that primary team, the team that's doing all the work. This team will get bored, they'll get ticked off, and they will leave because they aren't getting any support from their upline. So never give people away. So if it's my mom, and this is the truth. If I'm inviting my mom to this system, and it's her birthday today too, that's where I'm going next. If I'm inviting my mom to this system, I say, Mom, you know, I love you. You're great at what you do. You're my mentor. You've been everything to me. But if you're not willing to be a team player and invite 2 or more people, you can't join us, right? So I won't even let my mom join us. if she's not willing to be a team player, because all she's going to do is slow down the team and also get the team that I give to her ticked off. So never give people away. It will cost you a ton of money. It will cost you your friendships. So don't give anybody away. The other thing that you don't need to do in this system is you don't need to stack. So you don't need more than one position. If you have more than one position, the same thing happens. You separate your good, strong team where everyone's being a team crowdfunder, and you're putting them down here away from everybody. So you're forcing yourself to do additional work, and you're separating the people from the team. So don't give anybody away. And if you want to help, like I want to help my mom, so it's not like I'm being mean or anything like that. I love my mom, so I want to help my mom, but instead of putting her in the system and hoping that she gets donations, I give her money at the end of, whenever she needs it, instead of putting her in the system. So don't give anybody away, don't stack, and you only need one position. If you do any of those things, which a lot of network marketers do, because that's the way other network marketing companies work, it's going to be to your disadvantage.
Hey, David, I just got a text from somebody, and I know this is going longer than we thought, but can you just, the company that has 670, 680,000 and people are still receiving, what is the name and so forth? I know is it Give One, Get Four, or is it G1?
That's right.
So it's Give One, Get Four.
Yep.
And we just have people asking that. So
yeah.
I just wanted to be able to give that to them.
And when people put that in, they'll see me talking in about 50 different languages.
All right.
The video's been dubbed so many times.
All right. Well, that's all my questions from my leaders. Anybody else, guys? Thank you, David, for taking the time. But anybody else have anything?
I think we're good. Thank you so much, David, for taking the time out today.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. And
Thanks, David.
all right, thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
David.
Tom said happy birthday.
All right, have a great day. I will.
Yes, enjoy your mom.
All right, thanks. See you later.
Okay.
See you,
All right,
David.
take care.
Thanks, bud.
Bye.
Everybody. Okay. Bye-bye.